Hi, good morning and welcome to our meditation. Today is the 9th of October. I would like to read with you in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 6. For God who said, "Let light shine out of darkness," made his light shine in your hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ. The only way you can get to know God, it is through his son Jesus Christ. In 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 5, Paul was telling us what he was doing when he was preaching the gospel. He said, for what we preach is not ourselves, but Jesus Christ as Lord. So he preached Jesus Christ as Lord is the only way a Christian should go. That's the way to go, is to preach Jesus, to share about Jesus, not to share about the things that we believe that has nothing to do with Jesus, the traditions, the law. We are not here to preach the law. We are here to preach Jesus Christ. And some people, as he's going to say in the beginning of chapter 4, were in darkness. But this darkness is not permanent. It can be changed, as he's going to share in his testimony. But let's read what he said in chapter 4, verses 3 and 4 of course, 2 Corinthians. And even if our gospel is veiled, it is veiled to those who are perishing. The God of this age has blinded the minds of the unbelievers so that they cannot see the light of the gospel that displays the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. So they can't see because they are blind, because they're not born from above. But this situation can be changed while the person is alive here on this planet. And let's read what Luke told us about Paul's conversion in chapter 9 of the book of Acts, verses 1 to 9. Meanwhile, Saul was still breathing out murderous threats against the Lord's disciples. He went to the high priest and asked him for letters to the synagogues in Damascus, so that if he found any there who belonged to the way, whether men or women, he might take them as prisoners to Jerusalem. As he neared Damascus on his journey, suddenly a light from heaven flashed around him. He fell to the ground and heard a voice say to him, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" "Who are you, Lord?" Saul asked. "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting," he replied. "Now get out and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do." The men traveling with Saul stood there speechless. They heard the sound, but did not see anyone. Saul got up from the ground, but when he opened his eyes, he could see nothing. So they led him by the hand into Damascus. For 3 days he was blind and did not eat or drink anything. Before his heart was blind to the light of God. He couldn't see God. He had a religion. He was a very religious person. He was a Pharisee, but he didn't know Jesus. That's why he was persecuting Jesus. He was not persecuting his church. He was persecuting Jesus himself, because that's the question that Jesus asked him. Why are you persecuting me? The day he became blind, his eyes became blind, he could see the light in his heart. It was Jesus who shone his light into Paul's heart. When he came to Christ, he decided to set us apart, to lay down his life for Christ. He received the light. Jesus says in John chapter 14, verse 9, Jesus answered, "Don't you know me, Philip, even after I have been among you such a long time? Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father." How can you say, "Show us the Father"? How can you still be asking Jesus to show you the Father when Jesus reveals to you the Father? You can know the Father through Jesus. You can be filled with God's glory through Jesus. The light that God has shone, he has shone in the face of Christ. We can see his light in Christ. And Jesus says in John chapter 17, verse 24, "Father, I want those you have given me to be with me where I am, and to see my glory, the glory you have given me because you loved me before the creation of the world. He loved me before the creation of the world, so you always loved me. He's eternal. So Jesus is revealing to you the Father, the Father's heart. God bless you.